guys, so Coco and I are going to show you how to create this really beautiful resin artwork. It's got multiple layers in it, and I'm going to show you one of my little tricks for how to use gold leafing, or this instance it's copper leafing, on resin, because it can be quite tricky. Coco's just had a haircut, so she's a little bit playful right now, but we are just going to take you along and show you the process of creating this artwork. So I did this layer, but I wasn't really happy with it, so I decided to go over it. It just wasn't exactly what I pictured in my mind, but it was along the lines. I actually liked having the below layer kind of showing up through this artwork. So all I'm doing is putting my white resin down, and today I am using the Barnes epoxy cast resin, and I'm just putting that back down in the white area and a little bit over the black from the previous one pour. And then once I have that down, I am going to then be putting down my black in the areas that I want. I am keeping the black and white quite separate, so that way I get more bold color. When I did the previous pour, I put down all white for the base and then put the black on top, and I just got too many cells and too much lacing, and it just wasn't what I wanted. So this time when I went back, I kind of kept the black and the white quite separate and only had it blending just where they were meeting on the edges, and that was kind of what I was after in my original idea for this artwork. And I'm just using my hands to sort of spread out my resin. I can be a little bit impatient, and I don't really give the resin time to move, so I make it move. And then I'm just going to go along and blend it on the edges. And by overlapping my resin on the edges, I'm going to get cells in those areas. When I first did the pour, because I poured the black on top of the white and the densities of the resin, that created a ton of cells, and I thought it'd be really cool, but I think it just became a bit too busy for my liking. So by pouring the black in its own area and by pouring the white in its own area, I'm only going to get cells where they meet and not the whole way through the artwork. So then I just used my heat gun and blew my black resin across my white resin to create the really cool effects in the resin, like cells and lacing. A heat gun is a great tool to have in your resin kit, as it can really bring up some cool effects. I really love it. I also have a hairdryer, and as well as a hairdryer, I have a blowtorch, and they all do slightly different things. So I'm kind of just working and building up my pattern by stages and slowly adding more resin, and I'm just kind of, going with it and seeing how it all develops. So I found in the past, when doing any sort of leafing on resin, it can stick into places you just don't want it to stick. Even if you've not put glue down, it just loves to stick to resin. I've even let my resin cure for weeks before doing leafing, and it still managed to stick in just certain areas. And the one way I found to counteract this is by putting baby powder down. I put baby powder down all over the artwork, and then I just put glue in the areas that I want obviously my leafing to go, and this works amazingly. I will only get leafing in the areas where I put the glue down, and it won't be able to stick to the resin because the baby powder is acting as powdered that surface. This tutorial on how I created this artwork. I think I'm going to call it Nightfall. Let me know what I should call it in the comments below, because I always love giving a name to each of my pieces. So if you've got a better name, leave it in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up, as it really does help me out and it shows YouTube to show this to more people. And if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe, as I post so many resin art videos all the time. So if you love resin, you'll definitely love my channel. I also do other DIY and craft projects as well, but it's mostly resin because that is my real passion. And on that note, I've got some exciting news to share, guys. So I am releasing a resin online course. So I get so many requests for this, especially because a lot of you do not live where I live and cannot attend one of my workshops in Brisbane. So I'm finally releasing an online resin art course. This is going to go from absolute beginner knowledge all the way up to intermediate, and I'm going to be doing 4 demos in this online course, and it's around 3 to 4 hours long. So it's super in depth, and it's going to give you all of my knowledge, and it's going to be like if you came to one of my resin workshops. So that will be released at the end of March. So I'm so excited about that. I'm probably saying that way too much, but just keep an eye out for that, and it is going to be really good. So if you are getting into resin, or you just want to update your skill set and know a bit more, then this is the course for you. So if you love this, like it, subscribe, all of that. Thank you guys so much for watching.